G'day everyone, welcome back to Bushwick View Hubs Day. We've got a new movie for you. It's a new sci-fi dark comedy. Now let's get stuck into it. Now the new one that I got for you today, guys, is called Mickey 17, and it's a science fiction dark comedy that was written, directed and produced by Bong Joon-ho, and it happens to be based on a novel written in 2022 called Mickey 7. Now, straight off the bat, the first time I actually got to see the trailer, it got me that excited I needed to do a review on it, because I'm a big sci-fi boy. Now, I love my science fiction, and it really intrigued me when first you got to see the trailer that it was actually about what they sort of call an expendable, a person that can be recloned if they die, after a tragic accident or a workplace accident, or for research purposes, and then they can just bring them back to life because they have their brain pretty much put on a hard drive. And that really intrigued me to see how they were going to play that out. Now, being a science fiction film, obviously it had a big budget. It had a $118 million budget to obviously try and pump out the science fiction needs with all, the sci-fi that they're going to need. They're going to need aliens, planets, ships, anything, alien related that they'd be able to create. Now, before we dive into the nitty gritty, I'll tell you a little bit about the cast. First off, one of the main actors in this one is Robert Pattinson. Now, you would have remembered him from, good old Harry Potter, Twilight. He's the new Batman, which is, a little bit iffy, not too sure about that one. But he actually stars in one of my favourite movies with Charlie Hunnam, The Lost City of Z. Now, you actually haven't seen that one? Go check The Lost City of Z out. It's a very interesting movie to go watch. Now, he's playing the main character of Mickey 17. Now, Mickey 17 is a fella on Earth that's a bit down on his luck, has a couple of misfortunes, decides to go on a spaceship, become an expendable, and doesn't really read the fine print of what expendable is, but in layman's terms, pretty much, expendable is a person that doesn't matter what they do, what job they have, if they die, they will recreate them through this special machine, cloning machine that they have. Now, got to give him credit, but credit is due on this one because he played two roles. Eventually down the movie you get to see it, but he plays Mickey 18 as well, which is a bit more of an angry character than what he is. As well as another famous actress in this one of my personal favourites is good old Toni Collette, Australian actress, gotta love her. Now, I remember her from such movies like good old Muriel's Wedding, it was one of my mum's favourites and mine, gotta love her. Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis, About a Boy, Little Miss Sunshine, and more recently in Knives Out. As well as another little thing that I find a personal good achievement for her, she's actually been acting for 35 years now, which is a really good achievement. Good on you, Tony, we gotta love you. And Toni Collette in this one's playing a character called Yalfa, and that happens to be pretty much, the leader of the spaceship's wife. And yeah, she's a little bit of a conniving role, a little bit of a weird one, that's definitely for sure for old Toni Collette. Not too sure if it was the best role, but yeah, I'll let you definitely decide on that one. Alright, last but not least, the last fellow I'd like to mention, guys, is Mark Ruffalo. Now, of course, everyone would remember him from the Avengers as the Hulk. But, again, a bit different for everyone, so one of my favourite ones that I love to see him in was Now You See Me 1 and Now You See Me 2. I thought he was actually really great in those roles. It was good to see him get away from the Hulk. But in this movie, he's pretty much playing sort of a feel that it came across as like a religious leader called Kenneth Marshall, who his main goal is he's going to a new planet to colonize a new planet and pretty much create his own race, which was a bit of a weird plan. But I guess that's just the way people like to write their stories these days. And his character in this one's a bit of a weird fellow. Like, yeah, he does run the ship, but he definitely has Toni Collette's character, his wife, in his ear a lot, realistically telling him what to do, and it's pretty funny to see throughout the whole movie. He really doesn't know what to do, I feel, and he gets told a lot on what to do. But, again, that's for you guys to decide. Now, let me get stuck in a little bit of the pod, tell you how it goes, and then we'll get stuck into my opinion on it. Before I get stuck into it, guys, just like to thank everyone for liking and watching my videos. All my old subscribers, love you, and everyone new watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's get stuck back into it. First, everyone, I'm sorry, but I have to throw my opinion in it straight away. This trailer, it's sucking me in, because I'm a sci-fi boy, and I expected to have a lot more action, and honestly, I wanted to see, obviously, the different ways that Mickey got to Mickey 17, because obviously he was Mickey 1, and realistically through the movie you don't really get to see that, and that really upset me a little bit. And then once I found out, or really seen that it was a 2-hour movie, I really got drained down. I was like, well, hopefully, maybe near the end or somewhere along, it's going to be good. So I stuck out for it. But honestly, guys, it was probably, yeah, the worst movie that I've seen this year by far. And we just start off with, like, just a little couple of things. It had a $118 million budget to nail this movie out. And I feel it didn't even touch the sides of The Monkey that recently just came out and only used a $10 to $11 million budget. And I feel that movie has pretty much decimated this movie, and it had not even half of the budget, not even 10%. It actually only had 10% of the budget, which is pretty crazy. Now, of course, I had to give Robert Pattinson credit because, he played two characters and that'd be pretty cool or pretty hard to do. But one thing that annoyed me straight away with it was his voice of his character. Immediately, because it realistically never changed, or of course it wouldn't be going to be a clone, but as soon as I heard it from the start, it got me, and I was like, straight away when I looked at my wife, I was like, that voice really annoys me. And I know myself, I don't have a really, appealing voice, but as soon as I watched it and I heard it, I just did not want to really watch anymore. But again, stuck through because I thought there would be a lot more action in it. And then, yeah, the first time I seen Mark Ruffalo's character, Kenneth Marshall, it almost looked like he'd, stuck his face into, a hornet's nest or a bee's nest and just got completely stung, and he'd look like he'd swollen up. And they put those beautiful, big, white, fake teeth on him to, like, puff his cheeks out and make him talk a bit funnier.
All right, enough. Keep that up for 1 minute and you waste 5 calories.
And honestly, even though he's a really good actor, he's almost like the acting in this one was a bit over the top. Again, not an actor myself, just my opinion. And being a science fiction boy, I love, my planets, aliens, all that kind of stuff. And then it felt a bit lackluster when you eventually got to the planet that was there. It is pretty much a ice ball of a planet. It sort of actually reminds me of Hoth from Star Wars, so they might, borrowed a little bit of George Lucas's imagery off that one. And then you would think that the aliens that you would see would be, for 118 million, you'd think it'd be next level, but realistically, they're a bunch of giant mammoth furry slugs that could possibly eat you, but don't necessarily look like you could. You could just run through them with your car and just run them over pretty much. Now, normally I really don't like to blast movies. I like to try and actually give them a chance, but I really wanted to see this movie. I couldn't wait to see it. I was excited for it. Even told my wife, yeah, I can't really wait to watch this one. She's even like, oh yeah, it should be alright. But 2 hours of just... I can't even really explain it. It just felt like realistically clone drama and just a little bit of research. A lot of Robert Pattinson spewing up blood into a chamber and... a lot of rules getting told on a ship, and
the point is, Kenneth is talking to the committee about banning all sexual activity on the ship.
There wasn't really much sci-fi that I really thought. Even like the funnier sides of it, like I know it's meant to be a dark comedy, but it didn't really have that many funny sides to it. I feel like they really like struck below the bar with this one, that's for sure. So I'll give you guys a little bit of the story so you can understand where I come from. Now, first off, Mickey 17's character, originally when he's on Earth, has a mate, and their original business idea back in the day was to open a macarons business. And to get the money for that, they borrowed money off a very nasty loan shark who deals with people by chopping them up in a lot of ways with a chainsaw.
It's alright, I understand. Why trust a shark, right?
Now, of course, obviously in, I think it was 2054 when it was meant to happen, or 2050 when the time was, the macaron business didn't successfully, take off. So they were in debt for a lot of money. And being the loan shark, who he is, likes to chop people up, they didn't really like to take their chances with him.
Alright, calm down.
So they thought, in their funny minds, let's get on a spaceship destined for another planet. They're going to colonise another planet. They won't find us there and we'll be all good. So next thing you know, they both sign up. One of them gets on the ship. One of them doesn't really that easy. He has to sign up for something different, the expendable. That'd be Mickey 17's character. Now, he doesn't really read the paperwork that well, so he doesn't know what an expendable actually has to do.
Expendable? You're applying to be an expendable? Seriously?
So he's just grateful to get on the ship and get out of Earth so he doesn't get chopped up. But obviously if he read the, fine print, he would find out that probably eventually he would get chopped up eventually. So the next thing you know, Robert Pattinson's character, Mickey 17, goes with this lady, imprints all his like memory that he has to do, gets his body scanned, and there you go. He's ready to go on his ship and take off to the new land. And then it's like kind of, I guess, yeah, the other kind of little funny bit that was in it was how they reproduce Mickey's body, because obviously they can't sometimes get his body or reuse his body because he's been used for research or he's been smushed to pieces. So what they've actually done in this movie is how they recreate the body is by using all the waste that's pretty much left on the ship. So toiletry waste, anyone dies, food waste, anything at all can be remanufactured into making of the Mickey 17 clones. So overall, pretty much he is made up of
Shit.
So then it just realistically goes through a lot of them testing Mickey out. You don't even really get to see any cool ways he dies. Like, they put him outside and radiation, maybe loses a hand.
Wow!
Like, there was nothing realistically cool. Like, they showed in the trailers. They actually really pushed the trailers up and made it look a lot good than what it actually was. That's for sure, guys. And then after Mickey goes along for a while, he actually ends up, funny enough, hooking up with a lady on the ship, because they're not really supposed to hook up because they're meant to save all their calories or whatnot, and there's a lot of rules that go with this ship that I don't really want to explain because they're just too finicky and not really worth saying, that's for sure, because of this movie. So he ends up hooking up with a lady. She ends up being head of security. They sort of, I guess, fall in love.
We're busy every day taking care of Nasha, and she's an all-in-one elite agent.
But she's sort of okay with every time he dies having another clone brought back, which, I don't know how you would feel about that in the real life, because, yeah, it'd be nice to have person back, but I feel that they wouldn't be the same person. And I think down the line she even said to Mickey 17 that she could see there was a personality difference in all the other Mickeys. And if you do want to watch it, you get to see that with Mickey 18, because he's a little bit more of a cranky character, but we'll get to him. Now, honestly, to me, nothing really interesting happens on the ship, realistically, until they finally get to the planet that they're after. And once they go through a couple of Mickeys and they finally work out how to, be able to breathe the air and live on the planet, that's when they actually let a couple of people out in the spaceship that they have and go out and explore the planet a little bit. And of course, Mickey is with them. Now, they happen to stumble across this little cave. This is the first time you get to see the aliens of the planet, the inhabitants. Now, again, that's what I mean. For a $118 million budget, you think you'd actually be able to see something cool. Maybe a predator or an alien or something that might really tear you up, but not a mammoth slug that realistically you would not be scared of and you could kill. But they stumble across a cave, see these creatures, start running out, and actually one of the people on the ship, or one of the crew members, sorry, actually get crushed by a falling bit of ice. And everyone gets a bit upset because that crew member can't be brought back like Mickey can, and there's a bit of animosity when he gets back to the ship towards him because he didn't die and she did.
You fucking useless little asshole! You're an expendable! You're here to be expended, damn it!
And after that little misadventure, Kenneth Marshall, Mark Ruffalo's character, decides that, we're not going to send any more crew members out, we're just going to send Mickey out. So he sends him out on another little mission, and that's when Mickey gets into his little bit of a mishap, falls into a crevice, and because realistically they don't want to save him because they could just easily clone him, they just grab a couple of, I think it was his flamethrower off him, and just leave him there to die pretty much.
I'm just taking this. I mean, it's not looking very good for you, right? Also, line only goes this far.
But that's when you get to see the aliens come out, and you think that they're going to kill him, but in actual fact, they sort of just don't want him around them, so they, I guess, pick him up and transport him on their back and push him out of the little cave that they were in to try and save him and get him away from them. So it's Mickey 17, gets pushed out of the cave by these slug alien creatures. He wanders back to the ship, probably been about a day. No one else realises it because it's Mickey, so they just think, it could be another clone or something like that. Mickey 17 gets back on the ship, to find that they've already cloned him again, and that's when you get to meet Mickey 18, who is a bit more aggressive than Mickey 17.
I gotta kill you.
Kill me?
Now, the first image you get of Mickey 18 is a very homicidal serial killer, which I felt possibly, if you got to see the other Mickeys, that maybe what they were leaning towards in the movie was it was actually the original Mickeys, like emotions coming out and all the Mickeys that were coming, because realistically Mickey 18 is a very aggressive serial killer, just wants to kill everyone. Mickey 17 was a bit soft, bit more of a thinker, but not really as much as a homicidal maniac as what Mickey 18 is. So once Mickey 18 sees Mickey 17, and of course in this world or in this movie, they've got a thing that if you do make a clone and it happens to make multiples, you have to actually kill both of them, and then you cannot have that clone at all anymore. It's done. So Mickey 18, of course, gets a bit upset when he sees Mickey 17 and tries to kill him. And that's where it gets a bit iffy. Like, Mickey 17 obviously didn't get properly killed properly, comes out, they have a bit of a fight, end up liking each other, or not really liking each other, but have to put up with each other just to be able to survive. Ends up that the person that he's with, Mickey 17, his missus that he's with, finds out about 18 and 17, and then weirdly enough actually enjoys it.
Oh my god.
And yeah, a lot of shenanigans happens on the ship, and then Mickey 18 at a certain point snaps and tries to kill the Kenneth Marshall character and brings everyone undone by having the multiples on the ship. And that's when obviously Kenneth Marshall has to do something about it and try and extinguish both Mickey 17 and 18. So his idea of getting rid of Mickey 17 and 18 is to have a little game with them, because at this moment on the ice planet, Mark Ruffalo's character, the Kenneth Marshall fella, has pretty much annoyed the alien inhabitants, and they're starting to surround the ship and try to attack it, which is not really working that well because they're giant slug mammoths. So yeah, his brilliant idea is to strap Mickey 17 and 18 up with bombs, send them out, and his wife wants 100 tails off each of them so she can make a sauce.
You'll each be given a primitive weapon as you head out. You cut off as many creeper tails as you can, and the first Mickey to bring back 100 tails is the winner.
That's what I mean, guys. This movie was really, really stupid, and I was amazed that I got through the 2 hours. So, of course, after Mickey 18 and 17 get strapped up with bomb vest, Mark Ruffalo gets a little controller for the bomb vest that they have, so, they try to do anything they don't like, they can blow them up anyway. So, either way I look at it, they're going to die, so you just want to do what you want.
So I can press both buttons simultaneously?
Yes, sir. Press them and they'll go off at the same time.
Personally, me, I would run back on the ship and see, let's see if you blow it up while I'm on the ship. So yeah, Mickey 17, Mickey 18 out there, bomb vests on. They were going to go kill aliens, but it ends up that they don't. They've got this little silly translator so they can talk to the alien. The alien just wants the baby back that the Kenneth Marshall character has, doing tests on it, trying to work out what it is. And yeah, there wasn't really even a big battle or anything, guys. Pretty much Mickey 18 by the end of it just jumps on the Kenneth Marshall's character's car when he comes out to try and end it all, and blows him up. So the battle, the action, there was none of that there near the end of it, which I was hoping for, which was actually driving me to watch the end of this movie. The whole time I was watching this movie, I was just hoping for a little bit of battle action or something cooler than what this movie was portraying in the trailer. Honestly, guys, I don't even want to tell you as much of the story. Just go out and check the movie out for yourself, realistically, if you want to. If you really want my honest opinion on this one, guys, don't go out and waste your 2 hours and 4 minutes on this movie unless you really, really want to. I was under the impression it was going to be such a better movie than what it was. The trailer portrayed it out to be a better movie than what it was. Some of the acting, or a lot of the acting, was over the top. Do give Robert Pattinson credit for playing 2 characters. That was, pretty cool. The aliens were not cool at all. They were giant mammoth slugs, pretty much, and not interesting, not even cool to look at. Realistically, by the end of it, they didn't even have anything cool, no powers, or they couldn't really do anything. They're all just calling a bluff on the ship. Mark Ruffalo's character, the Kenneth Marshall, not being an actor, it's just my opinion, guys, so don't. grilled me over it, but I didn't feel he did well at all in this one. Like, it was a bit over the top. He looked like he'd stuck his face in a beehive and was all puffy, but yeah, that's just my opinion again, guys. Now, we've come to the end of it, everyone. Now, I'd just like to thank you all for watching my first ever bad review on a movie. Normally I don't like to give movies much flack, but this one really got me. I didn't think it was a good movie at all, but that's just in my opinion. If you really want to, go check it out for yourself. Now, I just like to thank all my old subscribers for liking and watching my videos. I love you all. Anyone new watching that's made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. Or if you watch Mickey 17, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Now, as usual, I'll catch you on the next one.